Hi, this is Becca with Bluebell's Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card. For this card you are going to need your Cricut Imagine art cartridge called Imagine More, adhesive of some sort, cardstock, pop dots and jewels, a paper cutter, and a ruler. Now let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold over my card base. Now this card base I got from this Recollections cardstock. It comes with pre-scored cards and it comes with the envelopes. So I use these because it has the envelopes already with it, and I use my 50% off card at Michael's, and there you go. So this card measures 8 by 5.5. So when you fold it, it will measure 4 by 5.5. So I'm just going to fold it. The line's already scored for me. And now I have my card. So the next thing I need to do is I need to make the map that goes with this. Now when I do this, I need to make it 1/4 inch smaller. So since this measures 4 by 5.5, I'm going to make my thing 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So now my photo mat will fit on perfectly. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to emboss this. I'm going to use my Cuttlebug and I'm going to use one of my embossing folders. So let me grab the Cuttlebug and then we'll be right back. Alright, so now I have my Cuttlebug. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this embossing folder from Sizzix, and it has stars and little swirls all around it. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to place my paper in it that I cut, like so. And then I'm going to close it. And then what you need to do is you need to open up your Cuttlebug. You need to put in your A plate and your B plate. Then you take your folder, you put that on top. And finally you put your last B plate on top of that. Now what I do with this is you crank it, and it's perfectly okay if it's going to make popping noises. There I have a perfectly embossed piece of cardstock. So let's move on to the next step. So the next thing I'm going to do before I adhere this on is I'm going to ink around all of the edges of my paper. Now what I'm using is I'm just using an acid-free chalk pigment ink, and I just got this from Michael's. It was $1.50. I don't have Tim Holtz Distress ink yet, but it's on my list, so I'm just going to simply just go around the edges. And so now I have my piece of paper and it's all inked up. So what I'm going to do is I have this scrap piece of orange cardstock, and I love using up my scraps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to glue it right across like so. So I'm going to take my ATG gun and I'm going to put 2 strips on this because this folder is embossed. It does not stick as well to other paper, so you need to use a little bit more adhesive when doing this. There we go. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to line up one corner, and then with the other one, I just leave it like this because when I measure sometimes I'm off. So I just do this, it's easy, I take it and I snip it off. So there is our photo mat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now adhere this onto my card. Now when you are using an embossed folder, you need to make sure you go around all 4 corners. If this wasn't embossed, I could just put 2 strips of adhesive on and it would be fine. But the corners tend to pull up, so I'm going to make sure I get all 4 sides and probably one in the middle just to prevent it from lifting up. And I'm using my Scotch ATG gun It's my favorite thing to use for adhesive, and I love it. So if you have any parts that stuck out, you just simply run it along your finger. And now I'm going to line this up. So there we go. Now let's move over to my Cricut Imagine. Alright, so we're over at my Cricut Imagine, and like I said, we're using the Cricut Imagine More Art cartridge. It came with my Cricut machine. I just got this for Christmas, so I've just been trying out all sorts of different things. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using, on page 5, this cow, but we're not going to do it all together, and I'm going to show you how you do that. So I'm going to use the memories and the cow. I have my cartridge already in. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stylus and I'm going to hit print and cut. Now this is going to take me to where all my Imagine images are. It takes a second. So I'm going to scroll through until I find what I'm looking for. So I hit that, then I click this little pencil on the top for editing, and it's going to go into edit. Now I can either have this combined or layers, and I want layers. So now all these are going to come up separately. So I'm going to cut this at, we're going to try 2.5 inches, and if I don't like that, I can go back and change it. So I'm going to click apply. Now on the top you can see that all of these came up, and I do not want all of them here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press backspace. Then I'm just going to move my little stylus, and it will go over this way, and I can just click backspace, backspace. So now all I have is the memories and the cow. So then I'm going to click next. So now I have that on here, and it will show you how big it's going to be. So I think that looks good. Now when I first got my Cricut Imagine and I was cutting, I was having a lot of problems with it tearing my paper or not cutting all the way through. So what I found is that multi-cut on 1, speed on 4, pressure on 4, and your blade setting on 4, that helps for me not to rip any paper, and now I'm getting beautiful cuts. So what I'm going to do is I'll just zoom this out for you. Is I have my mat. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to press the next button, and it says apply light pressure to mat. So the important thing is you put it in the top where it says insert mat here. Don't put it through the bottom. So I'm going to put my mat in, and it goes in quite a ways, and then I press print and cut. And with the Cricut Imagine, you don't actually have to press unload paper, it just does it for you. So here are my images. I'll pull this off. And as you can see, perfect cuts. So I'm going to take these off, and then we're going to go back over to the card and finish it off. To do that, I'm just going to take my ink, and I'm just going to ink the edges of the cows. I have my memories and my cow. So with the memories, I'm going to just simply glue that on. And so I'm just going to take this artist glue pen that I have, and I'm just going to put glue all around it. And you can use whatever glue pen you want. I use Zing 2A. You can use Zip Dry, and so I'm just going to take that and put that right in the corner. And then I'm going to take my cow, and I'm going to use Pop Dots. I got these ones from Walmart. And so now I have the cow, but I'm not done yet. I'm going to add a little bit of bling. So now, the ones I'm going to use today are these little squares, and I'm going to make them angled, and I'm going to fit 3 of them on here. So peel off the backing, and So there you have it. My card is done. Now, what I did on this card, I'm not going to do it on this card, I don't think, but you can, is you can also ink the edges around on the white as well. So you could do that as well, and then you would have inked edges there. So there you go. There are my cards. I hope you enjoyed. And if you like this craft and would like to see more, visit my blog at www.bluebellcrafts.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Imagine More Art cartridge. Bolt. No. My A plate and my B plate. Put that down.